Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about weight shift versus hip turn. Hey guys, before we jump into today's video, I want to let you know that every week we are putting up new content on cogornogolf.com. This is actually a preview of one of the videos that we put up on the site. What happens is you're going to be able to see a part of that full video. Now, this video will be available if you click the link in the description down below for 7 days. After 7 days goes by, this video will only be available for members, and then we'll have a new member video of the week. I want you guys to be seeing what is available on the site. That's the purpose of this. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you do want to check it out, click the link down below. You can see the full video of this preview version for 7 days. So let me know if you guys have any questions. All right, guys, let's talk about weight shift versus hip turn. This is inevitably one of the most common questions that come up, and I want to clear up the concepts, right? So everyone asks, hey, how much weight do I shift? When do I shift weight? Back and through. How much do I turn? How do I turn? When do I turn? So there's a lot of questions that come up. I want to go through some of those here. There will be some form of weight shift and turn during the backswing, and there will be some form of weight shift and turn during the downswing. Everyone does it. Now, some people do the weight shift to a certain degree more than other people. Some people turn more than other people. I want to go over some just general things that we're looking for that are stock, and then we have to go over, hey, you watching it, how does that information apply to you? How do you know when to do what, how much to do it? We'll get to that point. So let's just go over general concepts. First, weight shift being the first part of it. When I take my normal setup, I like to see players with about a 50-50 or just even distribution of pressure in their feet. So we really have to kind of see the difference between, I'm going to talk about pressure in the feet, okay, and then body mass. And those are two different things, okay? So pressure in the feet at address, I like to be about 50-50. And I like to see the mass of the body basically centered or just straight up and down, okay? There will be some tilt, but more or less your body's just in the middle. Now, when I make a backswing, there will be some form of shift. Okay, I started 50-50. There will be some form of shift to the right up to the top of my swing. Now, what I'm looking for here is a shift in the pressure of the feet without the mass of my body moving massively to the right. Okay, so a pressure shift in the feet. So I start 50-50. I probably get to about 70-30 in my right foot at the top, but my body is still more or less centered. We'll talk about the turn part in a minute. From the top of my swing, there's going to be a pressure shift from the right foot to the left foot. Now the question comes up, how much do you shift? When do you shift? How do you shift? And it's not 100% the same across the board. I've seen measurements of pressure shifts in players where some players shift a lot to the right and shift a lot to the left early. I would say what's most common would be, if we throw some numbers on it, 50-50 at address, 70-30 to the right at the top of the backswing, and probably about 70-30 to the left by left arm parallel or down by last parallel with the club. So halfway down during the downswing, they're probably about 70% back to the left. That would be a normal amount of shift, meaning how soon and how hard should you do it? Well, it should be to the right, and there should be some pretty early to the left. Should you, from the top of your swing, feel like you're from the right and go as hard as you can all the way to the left? Probably not. Should you, at the top, feel like you're to the right and you just hang back and stay to the right? Probably not. You probably are going to have to find a middle ground between the two, and that'll have a little bit of effect on how much you turn, which we'll get to in the middle. So if I were to make a swing and you watch a normal swing, that pressure shift shouldn't look anything outside of normal, right? When you're watching it live, 50-50, 70-30, 70-30 should look pretty normal. 50-50, 100%, 100% will look pretty obvious. So if I'm looking 50-50, 70-30, 70-30, that should look something like this. So it looks pretty normal when you're going, right? That's what I'm looking for there. So how early do you shift from the top of the swing into your left foot? Basically right away, okay? You shift right away. How do you shift? Now this comes to the next point of, how do I get my weight to my left foot? And how you and when you push off your right foot is going to have a big play or part of the actual how much lateral versus rotation you have. So we're going to get to that part in a minute. So that's the weight shift portion of this, okay? No, I've never seen a golfer measured who starts left, stays farther left, and stays farther left in terms of pressure shift in their feet. I have seen some players who start a little left, their body and mass stays a little left, and they go a little left, right? So that golfer would look something like this. And you can play good golf, and that's okay, but there still will be a pressure shift into the trail foot when you do that. So that's the pressure shift part. Now the turn portion. When I'm looking at a golfer and how much do I want them to turn, there are some kind of stock things that we're going to look at. If I start normal, when I make a backswing, an average-wise would be 45 degrees of hip turn. I'm sure a lot of you have heard this already, 90 degrees of shoulder turn. But how do you do it? How much do you do it? When do you do it? What I prefer to see is from the setup position into about the first foot of the backswing, there's a little pressure shifting in the right foot, but there's not a lot of body turn in the first foot or so, okay? From there up to the top, I'm gradually, from 0 to 100, turning my hips and my shoulders. Now, if my hips and my shoulders both start at 0, so I'm 0 here and I'm 0 here, and I said at the top, my shoulders turn 90 and my hips only turn 45. Does that mean that I then turn my hips and shoulders at the same amount all the way up to the top? Obviously not, right? My shoulders went 90 and my hips only went 45. That doesn't mean that you're feeling that you're trying to resist your hips and just turn your shoulders. They're turning more or less together. Your hips are going to reach a point where they're going to stop. Your shoulders are going to continue turning up to about 90 from the top. Now, all of that information you guys probably know, and the tricky part is, what do you do during the downswing? How do I turn? How much do I turn? What sort of segments? And if you've watched previous videos, you know that I like you guys to turn everything. I don't like the idea of turning the hips and keeping the upper body closed. I like the idea, because I see all good athletes do it in golf and other sports, turn everything, learn to shallow the arms and the hands. So from the top of the backswing, if I'm here, I am doing what? I am shifting into my left foot. Does that mean my pelvis and hips are going like this? No, it does not. That means I'm shifting. My body is moving a little bit down and forward, okay, as I go. As I'm shifting, I'm turning. What am I turning? I'm turning everything. I'm not looking for you to have a feel where you just turn the hips like this. I'm not looking for just the shoulders. I want you to open everything up and learn to shallow the arms and hands with that. Okay, so that's my answer to the question. Now, it depends on what you currently do as to what you need to feel. Everyone asks me, what should I feel? And I always reply the same, is I really need to see your swing to be able to give you specific advice. I need to see my own darn swing to give myself specific advice. If I don't see what I'm doing, I don't know what I'm supposed to feel either. I can give you all these literals, but literally two different people watching this, one of you might need to feel a really hard shift forward because you normally hang back. The next guy might hang or might go too far forward and he needs to feel like he hangs back a little bit. So you may need to feel completely different things. That's where an online lesson with me comes into play. That's where CogornoGolf.com and the Facebook. That's where the live view golf comes into play, right? Something that you can record yourself and you have feedback. You have to know those things. So I can't tell you specifically, hey, shift this much. What I can say is I can give you checkpoints to look for, and then you have to adjust your feels accordingly. Therein lies the secret to getting better. Therein lies why people don't get better. You guys need less drills and you need more feels based on checkpoints. So if I say to you, hey, if you draw a line up the outside of your left toe, never let your hip cross that line. And then you watch your swing and your hip is 8 feet behind it, then yes, of course, you need to get a little bit more forward, right? If you're someone who really crossed the line too much, then yes, of course, you need to feel more like you stay back. So what you need to feel is based off of the checkpoints. Does that make sense? What actually happens is there should be a little bit of a shift, there should be a turn, there should be a little bit of a shift, there should be a turn. When do you shift during the downswing? Immediately. How much do you shift? It depends on what you currently do. When do you turn? Immediately. How much should you turn? A lot. What segment should you turn? Everything. From the top, your knee should go around, your hip should go around, your chest and ribs will open. Your shoulders will open, but because you're hanging onto the club, it'll look more square. You should open everything. So those are my thoughts on that. I can give you guys all more details on what to feel, what to do, how to do it, when to do it, if I can see your swings. All right, guys, I hope that all made sense. Now, what we're gonna do here for the membership video is I'm actually gonna go ahead and review a couple of professional swings. I know a lot of you guys wanna see slow-mos. What I wanna do is I'm gonna pull up a couple swings here and I'm gonna analyze them and show you examples of what I'm talking about. The pressure shift, the weight shift, the rotation, so you could actually see what those guys are doing. So if you wanna see that, the full version that's on the membership site, the link will be in the description down below. Remember, it'll only be up for 7 days, so go ahead and check that out. Click that link. If you guys have any questions, leave me a comment down below. Hey guys, if you liked the video today, please click the like button down below. Click the notification bell if you haven't already, and also please subscribe if you haven't. Another reminder, CogornoGolf.com is up and live. The link is in the description down below. Thank you guys.